Video. Today's gonna be a little different. I want to talk to you a little bit about the basics and where I started, what really changed and got me into taking a lot more photos, because I've been taking pictures for a very long time. And today I want to show you really what was that tipping point, what got me to start taking a lot more pictures and improve my photography. So stick around for today's tutorial video where I show you how to get out of automatic mode and into manual, where you can learn a lot more about photography than you thought. What's up everybody, welcome to another Monday tutorial video. Today we're going to talk a little bit about getting out of automatic mode and into manual mode. Alright, so you may be asking yourself, why do I need to switch over to manual mode? A lot of my friends tell me about aperture priority versus shutter priority and all of these different modes that you have available on the camera. And yeah, look, I'll give it to you. A lot of these modes are great in different scenarios. But why did I switch over from automatic to manual? It's because I wanted to fully understand my camera. And that's the key. The more you understand your camera, the more you can control your camera, the more you'll get the desired output. The other day, I got a phone call from one of my friends, and he was trying to practice a little bit at home, and he was wondering how he can get his shot properly exposed. First thing we're going to talk about is the exposure triangle. It's one of the things that I first learned when I was starting to move from just regular photo taking, maybe family gatherings and things like that, to really stepping up my game and getting into portraits, maybe landscapes, and event photography. So we're going to talk a little bit about the exposure triangle, how to balance out the different points in that triangle so that your shot could be properly exposed. And most cameras have this. So really, if you look on the top of your camera, you're going to be able to switch from A, which is the little green symbol, and you're going to want to switch that over to M. We're going to jump right into the deep end. The idea is that you want to get your feet wet, try to experiment with some of these settings that I'm going to show you today. Triangle. So what is the exposure triangle? We're going to go ahead, I'm going to put up on the screen right over here. Boop. Let's put it up. A little screenshot there. Now I'm going to go ahead and draw a triangle here, and what we'll do is at the top we'll title that ISO. So at the top little point of the triangle, that'll be ISO. On one of the other corners we're going to go ahead and put aperture, and then on the third corner we're going to go ahead and put shutter speed. Now the idea is that you'd want to balance out these three so that your shot is properly exposed. You're going to have a sensor that'll tell you when you're properly exposed, and basically it's this little ruler that'll go from a negative number to a positive number, and the closer you have it to zero, the more evenly exposed that photo is. So that's the idea, is that you want to balance out these 3 points in order to get the properly exposed photo. But it doesn't stop there. That's not really the end of it, because just understanding that you have to balance them out doesn't really tell you what rules that you can learn from throughout experience. For example, let's say you're shooting kids, or you're shooting sporting events, or anything that's moving very fast. You may want to have your shutter speed be a little higher, maybe like 1/500 or 1/1000. You're shooting kids, they move around a lot, so you got to freeze the action. And the idea here is that you're going to bring up that shutter speed. The higher the number, the more frozen the subject will be in your shot. Now what happens is the higher the shutter speed you go, the darker your image. So you're going to want to balance that out. If you're outside on a sunny day, then maybe you want to go to ISO 100. Lower ISO, that'll give you a darker photo. Where does your aperture come in? So aperture can give you a little more light. The lower the number, the higher the number, it can give you less light. But it also impacts your sharpness and your focus. The higher the number, the more everything in the frame will be in focus, similar to a smartphone camera. So on smartphones, the aperture really doesn't change. It is fixed at a certain number, and that's why on an iPhone or any other smartphone, you're gonna have a more sharp overall image throughout the frame. For our smartphone users, if you guys don't have a DSLR, you haven't saved up your monies to get that, or maybe you're still saving up your monies to get your favorite DSLR, no worries, you could still practice on your smartphone. The idea is that you're gonna wanna get an application, and I'm gonna show you that screencast in the next video, so check that out. This is gonna be the first video I'll release on Monday, and then right after that I'm gonna release a screencast showing you guys how to use what's called VSCO, Vosco Cam. VSCO, you may have heard of it. If you haven't, go check it out. It's available on both iOS and Android, and it's a really awesome application. So a lot of people say that manual is gonna slow you down, and yeah, at first it definitely will slow you down, but as you get better with it, the more you'll be able to play around with those different settings that'll get you the shot that you're really looking for. So remember, set your ISO, set your aperture, play around with your shutter, and you should have an exposed shot. And not only that, welcome to the manual world. Now, you don't have to do this. You could go ahead and move from automatic maybe into aperture priority or shutter priority. I'll go ahead and make videos about that and why you would use those different modes. But again, I really encourage you, I urge you, I want to motivate you to get out of automatic mode, go into manual mode, learn about these three main adjustments: ISO, aperture, and shutter, so that you can go ahead and get better photos and practice. As you guys already know, if this is your first time watching, consider subscribing. I'd appreciate it. If you really like the video, go ahead and hit that bell right on the lower right hand side so you're notified every Monday when I go ahead and release these Monday tutorial videos. And if you really like it, go ahead and head over to Instagram. You can follow me at Famousangel. I'll also put my new account, Famousangel Ports, right on the screen so that you guys can check that out too, where I'll post all my portraits. And until then, I will see you next Monday. And everybody, say bye.
Bye.
Say bye.
Bye.
See you later.